Hey, class, we are still talking about ancient Mesopotamia. We are in the last two things for ancient Mesopotamia. Today we'll do the Code of Hammurabi, and then we'll do the Persian Empire, and then we will be finished with this unit, and we'll move on to something else. But anyway, today we are talking about the Code of Hammurabi, and the Code of Hammurabi, what it is, it's 282 laws that were written down. And why is it important? Is the first time in the history of the world that laws were written down. Yes, the Sumerians made laws, but they didn't write them down. They were just kind of understood. But with the Code of Hammurabi, King Hammurabi actually had them write these laws down. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about these laws and a little bit about what it meant. So the first great king of Babylon, this man right here, Hammurabi, King Hammurabi, he conquered all of Mesopotamia, and then he established a set of laws that today is called the Code of Hammurabi.
King Hammurabi. The first great king of Babylon was King Hammurabi. He conquered all of Mesopotamia and established the first Babylonian empire. Hammurabi was also established a set of laws that is today called the Code of Hammurabi.
All right, so the Code of Hammurabi, it was written down on clay tablets. What they would do, they'd put on these clay tablets, and I've told this before when we talked about the writing, and it would be wet or moist, and then they'd take lines and make in the lines, or make into the tablet. And when that clay dried, they had a permanent written record. All right, they'd either do it on the clay tablets, or they would etch it into a stone like you see right here, which is a diorite stele. All right. All those laws are written down on it, and up here at the top of it, you've got King Hammurabi and the sun god Shamash, giving him the code. So that's what they were normally written on, either clay tablets or stone like this right here. Where's my? All right. Well, I don't know where I can't see my. There it is. There we go.
How do we know about the Code of Hammurabi? The Code of Hammurabi was written down on clay tablets and etched into stone. It is one of the oldest recorded codes of laws in the world. One of the best surviving examples of the code is written on a diorite stele.
Diorite stele, not stele. All right, so the diorite stele is a large stone. It was shaped like a giant finger. All right, it's shaped like a giant finger, and it contains around 4,000 lines of text. All right, and describes 282 different laws. Like I said before, the picture at the top is King Hammurabi, and he's been given the laws by the Babylonian sun god Shamash.
Diorite stele. The diorite stele is a large stone shaped like a giant finger. It's about 7 feet tall and 2 feet wide. It contains about 4,000 lines of text describing 282 different laws. At the top or fingertip of the stele is a carved picture of King Hammurabi being given the laws from the Babylonian sun god Shamash.
All right, so the actual code of law, it was divided up into groupings. Many of the laws that had to do with one subject, slavery, for example, they were all grouped together. All right, so this would have helped people find and read just the laws that pertain to them. And we're going to go over some of the major sections of the code here in just a second.
The Code of Law. The actual Code of Law was divided up into groupings. Many of the laws that had to do with one subject, i.e. slavery, were grouped together. This would have helped people to find and read just the laws that pertain to them. Here are some of the major sections of the code.
All right, so in the code, you had the prologue, you had legal procedures, you had household laws, you had slavery, you had trade and business, you had religion, then you had an epilogue. And the prologue introduced the code to everybody. It described how Shamash, the sun god, gave the laws to Hammurabi.
Code of Law continued. We had a prologue, legal procedures, household laws, slavery, trade and business, religion, and an epilogue. The prologue introduced the code. The prologue describes how the god Shamash gave the laws to Hammurabi.
All right, so some laws were very harsh, and the penalties were really severe. Like, for example, if a son should strike his father, so if he had hit his father, his hand shall be cut off for hitting his father. All right. Another one, if a man put out the eye of another man, his eye should be put out too. You know, if a man should strike a man of higher rank, he shall receive 60 blows with an ox whip. You know, all these things like this. You know, if a builder builds a house for someone, but that house collapses on whoever he built it for, then guess what? They're going to be put to death in the same manner. So these were some harsh laws, but they were laws, and they were the first time laws had been written down, and that's the important part.
Examples of the laws. Some laws were very harsh and the penalty severe. If a son should strike his father, his hand shall be cut off. If a man put out an eye of another man, his eye shall be put out. If any man should strike a man of higher rank, he shall receive 60 blows with an ox whip. If a builder builds a house for someone, that house is collapsing and killing them, the builder shall be put to death.
All right, so the code itself, though, it tells archaeologists a lot about the lives of people of Babylon. You know, it also contains important ideas for, like, you know, having people provide evidence of a crime, and you're not guilty until, you know, you're innocent until proven guilty. And then it also provided some stuff about protection for the weak. So it tells a lot about the lives of people of Babylon, and that's very important as well. Because without these laws, we might not know as much about what happened with Mesopotamia as we do.
What makes the code important? The code itself tells archaeologists a lot about the lives of the people of Babylon. It also contains some important ideas like having people provide evidence of a crime, innocent until proven guilty, and protection for the weak.
All right, so we got our comprehension questions. Who was the first king of Babylon? Was it A, King Charles, B, King Hammurabi, or C, King Henry? It was B, King Hammurabi.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
All right, number 2. What are the set of laws Hammurabi established called today? Those 282 laws, what were they called today? A, the Constitution, B, law, or C, the Code of Hammurabi? It's called C, the Code of Hammurabi. That's what we talked about today.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number 3, what was the Code of Hammurabi etched into? A, a stone, B, dirt, or C, concrete? It was etched into A, stone. It's a stone tablet called the Diorite Stele. Diorite Stele.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number 4, what is at the top of the Diorite Stele? Is it A, a picture of Hammurabi and Shamash giving him the laws, B, nothing, or C, Sargon the Great? It is A picture of Hammurabi and Shamash.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
And the last one, I don't know, that was the last one. All right, so be sure, I say this every time, to go on Schoology, do your Schoology page. All right, go over this same thing in Schoology, turn it in, make sure you get credit for it. And I will be back with another video. Our last topic for ancient Mesopotamia is the Persian Empire. So I'll be back with it, with another video and another lesson. Until then, I will see you later. You guys all have a very good day.